Yo, what is going on, YouTubers? Today coming back with an Idoing radio. It's been a while since I didn't check one of these up, and let me tell you guys, things have changed for the positive. This one here is for a BMW X5. In this particular case, we're doing it on a 2013, which is the last year before they change to the next generation. So this is going to work from 2007 all the way up to 2013. In this case, you guys need to determine whether you have the CCC system or the CIC. I do have the CIC. I believe that on their site they are stipulating that it works for both, but it is best that you guys tell them on the site which system you have in case there's any other harness that you might need, instead of just choosing both of them. And again, you never know what you're going to get, so it is always best to choose exactly what system you have on your BMW. Now this radio here is a 12.3 inch. It has a 720p resolution with a QLED display as well. It comes based on the box here on the side. It looks like it has 8 gigabytes of RAM and 128 gigabytes of internal storage with a 720p display, as I already mentioned. It comes with Android 13 as well, so this is quite updated if you guys ask me. And this will support Android Auto wired and wirelessly. You are also getting wireless CarPlay on here, and this is the display. Now, something I didn't notice from Idoing, if you guys compare other older videos that I have, is that now their displays are true black when they're off. Now this is important because it can cause a lot of unnecessary glare, and it gives it a premium quality look as well. So this is a very nice upgrade in my humble opinion, because even though it has bezels all around it, it is not entirely screen. You can hardly see the differences between when the display is off and the remaining of the bezels, again giving it that quality premium look. So on the back, these are all the connections we have, and if you look here, this is the 4-pin connector for the knob that is on the middle console. And of course we have the harnesses. We do have here a bezel so that you can fill that space that is currently on there. This is everything you guys will need to do the disassembly on this vehicle. So without further ado, let's jump to that 2013 BMW X5 and continue with the disassembly and installation of this Idoing radio. Alrighty guys, so here it is. Let's go ahead and head on over here and start taking this apart. So I just brought these two tools, and I want to see how true it is that that's all we have to do. I'm a little bit skeptical, but that's what I saw already. So I don't know, maybe we open this glove compartment here, and maybe we can just start pulling from this area. And wow, I didn't even need this tool to get it off. I'm not sure if this vehicle has been worked on before. That's a good possibility, but it was super easy. Alright guys, so it came out. All you really have to do is just put like a little bit of pressure. You don't even have to push in the little plastic that is inside that hole, and they all come out very easily. Now our next step is to grab a Phillips screwdriver and remove these two screws. Okay, so now that we got it off, let's go ahead and pull it. Very nice and easy. There we go, we just got that one off, and now we're gonna get this one off, and that's it. We got our display out. But wow, is this thing hot. By the way guys, I thought this was the FM antenna wire, and no, this is not the FM antenna wire. This is for your knobs control. On the middle here on the console, you have this wire. Now this is the 4-pin one, and this is what changes depending on the system that you have on your radio. The connection is going to be different. So this connection eventually will go right here. Okay, so it goes on like this, and I already tested it and it fits perfectly well on there. So we do have the correct plug for this particular radio on this vehicle. Our next step is to remove these two Phillips screws, and now we're going to take out the bottom portion of this radio for the other harnesses that we have to plug in. Okay, now that we removed those 2 Phillips screws, let's go ahead and pull this out here from the bottom side. Alright guys, so I was having a lot of debates on how this thing comes out, but then after a little trying here and there, I noticed that you have to insert your pry opening tool towards the bottom side. That's going to be the hardest part here. Start taking all these harnesses out. So we got 1, and you have to press in, then release out, and that's 4 in total. We now have 4 Phillips screws right at the bottom here. We had to remove these 4 so that we can take out the actual radio unit. As we know, BMW uses 2 different parts. So you got the display part, and then you have the actual unit at the bottom. So this faceplate came off. I'm not sure if it was supposed to, but I'm just trying to leave it there. It looks like this was taken apart before. Just try to get your harnesses out of the way, like so. And then I'm going to slowly start pulling this out. There we go. Alright guys, so from what I can see, all we have to do here is just remove this from the factory harness. So I went ahead and removed the harness from this unit on the rear. It has this mechanism where you just lift it from the bottom, and then when you're ready to put it back on, you simply bring this down, and that will clip it on to the radio. So we have to take out these 2, and it is all like one assembly. It's hard to see, but it's all one assembly. I believe you have to press in on this little corner here, and then it should come out once we do that. Let's go ahead and confirm here. Either we do that or lift up. Yeah, it is up. Okay, and as you can tell, it came right out. Okay, so now this one is going to get connected onto this. Okay, this is the harness that came with the radio, and you have to connect that right where you took it from. So you have 4 holes in total. You're gonna go towards the edge. That's where we took it out from, and make sure it goes in the correct way. And I think there's only one way that it goes in. Yep, and it's going to be this way. Okay, there we go, and it clipped right on. Now this side is going to go into the radio, and this portion is going to go on here like so. Let's go ahead and get it open as well, and bam. Okay, and then all this is going to get run through here and through here, so that way we can get it on the upper side of the dash. Alright guys, so a couple of things have happened here. So as you can see, we have the USB ports. Now I'm not sure yet where I'm going to run this to. There's a big debate going on here whether I'm going to hook these up or not, whether we need them or not. So stay tuned for this one. And then this is the little chime. I am also going to debate whether installing it or not. The good news is that we can leave this for last because it goes on the upper side of the dash. It comes with extra wire in case you want to hide it somewhere, but I don't think we're going to need this. And so I did reconnect the harness, which is this here. So I already connected it back to the unit, and then this is the portion that goes into the car's factory harness. And I ran the wires here for the radio, for the screen. We get the reverse camera right on here. We get the camera 12 volt wire, and then this is the camera. It says, I think this is the trigger wire, it could be. And I don't think we're gonna need these because the car already comes with reverse camera, so I would assume that it's going to read the factory reverse camera. And so these are the harnesses for the radio along with this one. The only one that we're not going to need is this first one that we took out from the beginning from the display. And we also ran the mic. So the mic, It's kind of tiny, as you guys can tell right here. I ran it underneath. I'm not sure yet where I'm going to glue it on. I'm pretty sure that I will have to ask the owner to see exactly where they want it, so that wires are not exposed or dangling anywhere, and that it looks as factory as we can make it be. Well, we have done some progress here. Basically, for the bottom part, what I did was quite simple. After installing the harness, I went ahead and reinstalled the AC controls. I reinstalled the screws that go right on here, and now what I am doing is installing here the upper side. This is the bracket. I ran the harness, the new one that goes for the radio. This is for that speaker, which we're not going to use. This you can hide around somewhere, but I ran the camera. This is for aftermarket camera. We're not going to use this. I did run the mic, which is down here. Eventually I'm going to just glue it onto this, but I just want to make sure everything works first. And we got our this is the Wi-Fi antenna, and we also have somewhere here, this is the GPS antenna. It goes right underneath the unit, and that's pretty much it, guys. Now all we have to do here is just hook up everything, including the main harness. We have to hook up this secondary harness, which is somewhere here, so that we can install the microphone. I believe this goes right on here like this. There we go. And so we got this one hooked up. Now all we have to do is connect the mic here and then connect the main harness. Don't forget about this one here. This is for the knobs on the middle, the one that looks like a FM antenna, and that's pretty much it, guys. We have a little cover here for the Wi-Fi, which we're going to install right now. It is this bad boy here. Okay, it goes on like this, and then the antenna for the GPS. Then we snap this on here. Well, guys, this is what it's looking like right now. We got the whole thing plugged into that bracket that we installed earlier. And now what I almost forgot is that in order for CarPlay audio and the audio coming from the display to work with this vehicle, you have to run this auxiliary cable. I believe it goes down from here, from this from the harness that was there before. It's going to run all the way to the auxiliary port inside of the vehicle. That's the only way that you can get the audio working. But we don't have to undo this any longer. We're going to have to undo the bottom part and redo this, but at least we know that we are making progress. We got the microphone connected on here. Everything is looking pretty good. We're just not getting audio from the CarPlay to the vehicle, and it is because of this wire right here, which I thought it was optional. But again, this is my first time working on a BMW, so I am learning as I go. So yes, this wire is crucial to get that working. Well, what can I say? We got this thing completely hooked up. The last thing I did here for when I took this apart is that I had to take this section off, which is held by clips, and then I remove these two trims, or not completely removed. I kind of like tucked my pry opening tool and moved it slightly so that I could get the wire for the auxiliary from here. I ran it all the way through here, and then I had to drill a hole that goes to the middle console in here, and the auxiliary wire is actually connected right there, but it's coming from the side. Okay, so this is the best method I could find so that the wires don't appear anywhere. And if you guys look closely here, it doesn't show anything. It's like a super clean install. Now they can even close the lids in here, and it looks super awesome, guys. So I put the display on here already. You guys saw that part. I reassembled everything on here. You have to wiggle a little bit so that it goes back in entirely, because now it has like a square fuse box, and that square fuse box has to be mounted on the side, so not on the vent side, but it goes like around here. And what it does is that when you install everything back on here, it doesn't get on the way. It's harder to explain it if you haven't done it or if you're not on that section, but once you are, you guys will notice exactly what I'm saying. That fuse box cannot go all the way on the back side of the unit. It has to be brought to the front and placed on the side before putting on this section of the radio. And as you guys can tell, everything's working great. We have our system here. Well, first of all, let me go ahead and exit from, this is the system. So we already exited from Android Auto, and these are all the apps available. Just like with any other Android device, you have the Wi-Fi connection, in which you will have to get connected either to your homes or maybe doing hotspot. That's the most common one. Right now I'm at home and I can connect to the Wi-Fi here. Just go into networks, go into Wi-Fi, available networks. You have to turn it on. Once you turn it on, you're going to lose wireless CarPlay and wireless Android Auto. By the way, for right now, that's the only option here. We don't have any USB ports on this vehicle just because of the complexity of adding one. Even though it came with one, it is kind of hard to install one. So anyways, let's go back here into settings. Right now it did ignore the Wi-Fi just because I am connected to Android Auto, but right here you guys can see it. Then okay, so once you get here to these settings, you're gonna have things like the factory ones, and I did have to change some factory stuff on here because the system, let me go ahead and disconnect here from the Bluetooth momentarily before I reconnect, because it's just trying to reconnect all the time and it is driving me nuts right now. There we go. So anyways, when we are here, I had to go into factory functions. The passcode is 1314. You hit enter, and then from here on vehicle, I had to change the 360 camera to CVBS, and I think that was the only thing that I changed from here. Vehicle button, I left it intact. I didn't change anything. Vehicle display, this one I had to change. By default, it came with the 800 by 480 with a CIC system, which is the one I have here. Keep in mind that this is from 2007 all the way to 2013. But I think that this being the 2013, the one that worked was the one that says NBT CIC Evo, and then it has the 1280 by 480 pixel resolution. That's the one that I had to change it to, which is option number 2, and that gave me the proper settings for the vehicle. Also, we have the CAN bus control, which is set up to CIC. It is the system I have, and in case you have to change it, you can change it right here. Of course, you have the UI configuration. This would change the way that the user interface looks like, so I left it intact. Profile imports, you don't want to touch that. Logo settings, you do have logo settings. You can download your own and make it look really nice and cool. By the way, you do have an SD card option here on the back, and also a 4G modem as well. So this comes ready with the 4G modem. We did install the antennas. I believe one of them is for Wi-Fi, but it could also be for the 4G. It doesn't really say, but what I do know is that it does have a SIM tray on the rear side of the radio here on the display. I think it's on the left side. I can feel it somewhere around here. You will see it. So that's how you can get stuff brought into the radio. Like if you're downloading stuff on your computer, you can put it on a little SD card and place it on the back side here. That's another cool feature about this unit. And yes guys, we do have in fact Android 13. If we go about car here and we go into, let's see, maybe system. Yep, system updates. You can see right there, updates to Android 13. So we do have in fact Android 13 with 8 gigabytes of RAM and 128 gigabytes of internal storage, which is super awesome. Right here we have the quick toggles available. You got sound settings. Now for sound settings, I found that the best one here that works is the one that says rock. All the pre-settings for that one gives you that perfect, well calibrated sound, and I did love it guys. Anyways, we have car info. A lot of you guys are going to say, well, Jay, where are the factory settings? You have to go into car info, and from here is where you can check all your settings just like you used to. So right now you can see I'm moving the knob. By the way, the steering wheel controls do work as well. So there we have it. Okay, you can choose between radio or auxiliary. That's radio. Okay, and as you guys can hear, everything's working great so far. And now we are back here into the aux option. You can increase the volume here and decrease the volume depending on how you want your auxiliary to be incremented in terms of volume. You can do it directly from here. And now we go back, and again, everything else is just working great, guys. I am super happy with the results, and this display with the 720p resolution and that QLED panel looks absolutely gorgeous. I'm not sure if the camera is making it justice, but believe me guys, this thing looks very, very nice. Let's go ahead and get out of the car real quick just so that I can record the back side of the radio. The screen does stick up a little bit more, as you guys can tell. I'm not sure if you can see that through here, but it does stick out a little, or stick up a little bit more. That's because the factory one was actually embedded and it wasn't sticking out. That's why we have that plastic that came with it, that little bracket that they made, is so that it sticks out and it is not in. Of course, our camera does work, but I think there's something awkward about the system. Maybe there's something I'm missing where it doesn't exit. I think it's because we had to move forward. Let me see if that's correct. Okay, and then maybe moving forward it does exit eventually. Let me see. Okay, so it seems like maybe we have to go on settings and do something on here, but if I click on back, then that's when it goes back into the normal settings, and then you will have to tap on the screen for it to disappear. But I think this is just all from the settings, so let's go ahead and put it in reverse. There we go, and again you can see it right there. The camera is in fact working, which is good. And now we're going to put it in park, so park. There we go, and now it did exit on its own. So yes, I think it's just a matter of playing with the settings a little bit longer, and that'll get things resolved. But yes, everything is working on that behalf. Also, let's go ahead and talk again here about Android Auto. CarPlay will work the same way. You have to turn on Bluetooth, connect to the Bluetooth, which is that GT6 BT91A3, and then that's the one that will be responsible for getting the, let's see here, we have it somewhere around here. I just saw it. Let's see where it's at. There we go, Z-Link, and boom, here we have it. So we have Android Auto. These are all the apps, okay, just as normal. We're not going to review that part, of course. And then we have things like library here. We can access all the new music. Let's say I play, I don't know, this one here. You guys will notice once you have it on aux mode. Now this is something important, guys, that you need to understand. In order for the audio from this to work with the vehicle, it does it by tricking the vehicle that this is an auxiliary item. It doesn't work automatically, so you can have everything hooked up and have an image and everything looking perfect, but that's why we had to run that auxiliary wire that goes in here, and it has to be connected to the aux port. As a matter of fact, the wire was already included. Otherwise, you are not going to get the audio from the CarPlay and the Android Auto system. And yeah, so that's working great. By the way, everything looks pretty nice and sturdy on here. It didn't interfere with anything else on the radio itself. So with that being said, guys, I think that we have here successfully unboxed, installed, and provided a hands-on review of this Idoing radio. Idoing is one of my most trusted brands for plug and play units for pretty much any vehicle out there that I can say you can trust without any issues. They test these things, they make sure that everything is working 100% before releasing it to the market, and to me that's very important. So I think, guys, that with this being said, we have successfully finished here with everything. Let me know if you have any questions, any issues. I can maybe help you out. Don't forget to hit that like button, subscribe, comment, and share, and I'll see you guys on my next one.